Well, there's just a little update of this little chap, or chapess. She's now only a couple of weeks since I posted the video showing this particular Platybunus pinetorum feeding. She's already molted several times and is now adult. I wonder if she's still hungry. I'm still amazed at how these hunt. And there's that. We introduced some fruit flies there. And she's been eating like a good one. We'll see whether she still wants to eat like a good one. And this will be her last feed before I put her into a new enclosure. One with a piece of bark up the side, so she can hunt and behave like she would in the wild. Bearing in mind, these seem to be a parthenogenetic species in the UK, whereas in Europe there are males for Platybunus pinetorum. And the rate of growth has been particularly fast. And since the video that I shot a couple of weeks ago, I think she's molted twice. And typical of pinetorum, the ocularum on which the eyes sit is that beautiful chestnut brown. She's tucking herself in there. Normally these would sit on the trunks of smooth bark trees such as beech especially, but they do use other trees, it's just that they're more difficult to find. I did find one at the side of the A614 at Clumber on a pine, but looking for them on pine trees or any trees with a rough bark is hard going. It's far easier to look at trees like young sycamores, beech and ash. Not found them on ash yet though. And at the moment you could say the distribution of this species in Nottinghamshire indicates that they do like a sandy light soil. From the surveys done in 2021, it was found from northern parts of Clumber to southwest of Mansfield, heading towards Kirkby and Ashfield. And there's certainly a link with traffic or traffic routes. There's a number of sites from Clumber down the A614 to as far as Rufford. Let's see if we can introduce some more prey items. There's a potential heading towards it. There we are. Got it. Whether they'll take 2 prey items at the same time, I don't know. There's one behind. But it was the speed at which they do catch prey. She goes off for a wander. She's probably got one more molt. I can find her again there. She's not left of screen. There's probably one more molt before complete adult. Obviously this one is well in advance of any in the wild, but it doesn't really matter. This one's going to produce eggs and young Platybunus pinetorum in a few weeks or months, which I will release back at the point of capture. It's not as if by removing this one from its natural surroundings I'm not affecting anything. It was from a site with a high population of Platybunus pinetorum. As there's no males, she will still be able to reproduce. But there we are, in better lighting. You once again got to see the hunting technique of harvestmen. My biggest surprise of last year, towards the end of last year, before Christmas, I think it was when I filmed it, I was astonished to see them grabbing prey as they do. And they grabbed the prey in the same manner as the likes of lycosid spiders, the wolf spiders that also make no web. And they use the legs. I thought she was going to grab the second one, and she would have done if it had been an easier surface. So today's little chore will be to go out and collect some old bark, some smooth bark, and we'll set her up. I can't release her back into the wild now because of the cool temperatures, but I will keep her for study. Right, one suitable new container for young pinetorum and a bit of substrate to go in, but also I've used a bit of fence panelling instead of bark. I couldn't find any really nice bark when I had a look, but that will go nicely up this one side here, you see. A bit of woodland substrate, not much more than a couple of handfuls of forest floor. Pat that down, clear the mess up. So basically we're left with that simple setup. And now to get Madam, we'll put a few bits of her existing substrate in just at the bottom there. And tease her out. And there she is. And this is the finished setup, in which she'll be kept at least till later in the spring when it's warm enough to put them back outside. And she's sat on the little bit of fence panel that I put on that side but does alternate between sitting on the fence panel and on the substrate, and she has eaten since I put her in here. Simple setup. I'm not advocating keeping harvestmen. This one is just for scientific purposes, really, just for observation. Find out a few bits about these, that they can be kept in captivity easy enough, single ones, and fed on a diet of fruit flies. Whether all species will scavenge and take fruit flies, I don't know. So there's a little bit of future study. Would something like Platybunus species A be able to trap live prey? Or are they just largely scavengers? So much to find out about these things. You see, you think that maybe all is known about harvestmen and invertebrates. Far from it.